Slowly, you guys. We're glad to have you join us in our virtual living room again. This is my girl Mello.
What up?
And I'm Lola. And this is That's Just Lola. I want you right now to look at the subscribe button to the right of your screen, and you will see it's red. Click to subscribe. Send it to your friends, to your family, to your cousin, all
Share
them.
that.
Nay, them. Well, yeah, nay, them. All them. Baby, them.
Baby and them.
Baby and them. All them.
Nay.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, because I know what they need. Okay, so we were talking about, we just talked about people who were over 45 that we knew. So I wanted to throw one more person in there. He is not a person of color, but he's somebody who has always inspired me because my mother worked with his wife. His name is Danny Aiello, and he's an actor. He's was all in all the, what do you call it? The gangster kind of Italian mafia movies.
Oh, okay.
Always a character actor. If I showed you his picture, you'd know exactly who I was talking about. And he didn't start acting until he was 40, close to 50 years old. And it changed he and Sandy's life. I mean, completely, because he's had work consistently.
Because he's a good character actor.
Because he's a great character actor. I mean, plays an Italian mobster sidekick, main mobster like nobody's business. And so it's funny, you don't know who is providing that undercurrent of encouragement for you, but I've always looked at him.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it was somebody that I knew personally. So I've always looked at him and said, well, he did it.
So
that was my benchmark. Well,
yeah.
He did it. If he did it, then I can do it.
Yeah.
That was always my benchmark. So in talking about that, go back and watch the previous parts of this series, the other segments we've talked about. Can you start? What's your dream? What is your dream? How are you living your dream? How do you even figure out what your dream is if you don't know, right? Is it too late after 40 to live your dream? After 45 to live your dream? How many people do you know? If you don't know any people, start to research it. Because Google is my best friend.
Yes.
All you got to do is type in Google, who became famous after the age of 40? And it'll show up. I promise you, everybody has Googled every question on the planet, period.
At least 100 times.
At least 100 times. So it'll show up for you.
Yep.
And so how does one start over from where you are? Because I get that starting over can feel like pulling your fingernails off. But
It really can.
it really can't. For a couple of different reasons. One, because a lot of times you don't really know what you're doing. So I would say, well, you know what? At one time I probably would have said not to jump out. But I don't know. Sometimes the older you get, you just got to snatch that damn Band-Aid off. You know what I'm saying?
I think what happens is when you get older, you're more willing to jump out there because it's like you're probably thinking about how much time you have left to actually do this thing that
If I don't do it
want
now.
to do.
Right.
And so, you're willing to take that risk much more than,
when you're younger, because you think you got time.
Yeah.
The thing that you like, didn't you like it yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but it was stop putting things off. I'm paraphrasing, right? So it was stop putting things off because you think you got enough time.
Yeah.
Stop not living your passion because you think you'll have time to do it later.
You're talking
right?
about stop putting off until tomorrow what you can do today or what you should do today.
Well, no. It took it one step further. Was stop putting off doing those things, the passion, because you think you'll have time to do it later.
Yeah.
Sometimes later never comes.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So
or it looks a lot different than it probably could have looked, should have looked, would have looked had you done it.
Absolutely, at the time.
Much earlier.
And also remember this, you guys, like Melanie said in the beginning, dreams have a tendency to morph, right?
Yes.
And what you want has a tendency to adjust itself. So like in the beginning, I wanted to be purely entertainment in front of the camera. Now I see the value of being behind the camera. And I see the value in creating content.
Yes.
So I still will be in front of the camera, especially with this project that we're doing now. But I see just as much value, and my long term will be behind the camera. And that's what I'm more empowered by because it's more profitable. It gives you more control, and then you can create the roles
that you want
once you make a name for yourself. And so remember that it will look different sometime. You have to sit down and evaluate. This is something I teach in one of my classes, Passion to Profits. So I teach everybody to be on the lookout for how that dream has changed. One of my other dreams was to live in this big 6,000 to 8,000 square foot house. I don't want that no more. That's too much.
Huge.
Now I just want a condo. And I'm not, the condo will probably be about 3,000 square feet. Okay, a fly out condo. The condo will probably be, in my retirement is in a condo where I can overlook the mountains or the beach, right? Where I got great views. I have a concierge. You know, I got a driver. If he, you know, if not, then I subscribe to a car service and they drive me everywhere I need to go. But I have a fly car.
Yeah.
You know, I got
And
my
you drive it
Aston Martin
if you
that I
want
could drive
to.
if I want to, right? That's like the ultimate dream. I don't want to maintain. I want to have a garden that I go visit and tend to the garden there, right?
You don't need it in your
I
backyard.
don't need it in my backyard. Maybe I have a house somewhere that I can go to, like the country home.
Yeah, see,
but
that's
my
what I want.
And so
Yeah.
you have to figure. And I was still living on that dream for a while until I had to shift it. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. That's not
what I
even
want anymore. Yeah.
that's not even your deal anymore.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it. So starting from where you are and building that dream is about looking at what you really want, dissecting it, and figuring out what things are necessary. Don't get caught up in what you don't have. You know,
Yeah.
people get caught up in that all the time. Well, I don't have this. When I was younger, my parents were in a business called Amway, and I never forget. They
Amway
had
was
Zig
great.
Ziglar. Oh, it was awesome.
Made
It's
a
the parent.
lot of millionaires.
Oh, please. Zig Ziglar, we used to listen to all these different people who were motivational speakers. And one of them used to say, when you decide what you want to do, when you get serious, when you get committed to that dream or committed to that goal, and you take a step, the universe realigns itself to help create that thing or those things that you truly desire.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so you have to
heard
take
that.
a step. You can't sit around and talk about what it is and think about what it is. You
Yeah.
got to do something. But once you do
Yes.
that something, that one thing, the next thing reveals itself, and the next thing reveals itself, and it just keeps on building like that building.
Snowball.
But you have to begin. You have to do something. So let's say, for instance, you want to be always wanted to be a minister. Okay, I have a friend who wants to be a minister and has wanted to be a minister for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And so the first thing that person needed to do was kind of research more about what that meant. So find some place you could take
Yeah.
those classes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
That you can study the Bible or whatever it is you follow, because I didn't say what kind of minister she wanted to
I was
be.
going to ask you.
Yeah. Let's say, well, kind of like metaphysical unity type stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you need to figure
yeah.
out, what you need to do. So if that's it, then go to Unity University, right? Unity Center, and so they can start guiding you towards that. Figure out how you set up a church online. Figure out whether or not you want a physical church. Figure out all these different things. So start doing the homework, do the footwork, and once you're doing the footwork, the opportunity will
present
show
itself.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it'll really show up.
It always does.
It always
usually
does.
Yeah.
And so don't get caught up. You know, they always say, and Kwame said this, our producer said this earlier, stop worrying about the how. You just put the what out there,
Yeah. Yes.
right?
Yes.
But we get caught up in the how.
we do, and you can't.
I
worry
don't know
about
how
the
that's gonna happen.
Because it 9 times out of 10 doesn't look like you thought it was gonna look.
I don't
It
know how
it
that's
doesn't
gonna happen. I
It
don't
doesn't
care.
happen
I
the
don't
way
know,
you
but I
plan
don't
it.
care, but
it
I don't
never
care.
happens the way you plan it, or very rarely. You know what I mean?
No, it never happens the way you plan it. And it never rolls out. And the people, you got people showing up, and it's so funny to me because a lot of times, you know, when you're trying to start,
I'm
stop
laughing
dismissing.
later, but I'm laughing at you.
Okay, it's okay. Stop dismissing people, right?
Yeah.
For somebody who can't play a part in your dream because they don't fit the
Oh, please stop doing that.
they don't fit the profile.
Please stop doing that.
Because they may be the person to deliver to you exactly what you need, a thought, an idea, a person, a resource for you to get to the next space.
Yeah.
So kind of take inventory of everybody who's around you. Now, if you got a negative Nelly, that negative Nelly's purpose in your life is only to motivate you to move your ass. That's it.
Negative Nelly. Never heard of that.
Never heard that? I don't know if I have either, but it just sounds like they went
You
together.
worked that
right that
one,
minute.
yeah.
So if you got a
Negative
negative person
Nelly.
in your life, remember there's people in your life for two different reasons: either to show you how to do something or to show you how not to do something.
Ah.
Right?
Ah.
So how not to do it. So evaluate who's around. So one thing, get rid of people in your life that don't serve a purpose.
Right.
When I say that, I mean they always tearing you down. You can say, "Ooh, booga booga boo," and they'll say, "Girl, that's bad. That's gonna kill you."
Get rid of the
Get rid of negative Nellies, right? Ooh, girl, that's gonna kill you. You shouldn't do that. That's gonna kill you. I know I got a girlfriend that killed her 5 times when she tried to do that. That person. Shit don't make no sense at all.
Wait,
So get rid of all those people who really don't add anything to your space.
Please.
Do research and homework to find out what that thing. Because sometimes the thing you think you want to do, once you do some homework, you be like,
Oh no, I'm not doing that.
"Oh, I want to do that."
Yeah, I don't wanna do- Maybe I can do a variation.
A version. Make my own version of whatever that is. So make sure, because the things that you think might be so hard, because you got to go to school for 8 years.
And
Maybe
you-
there's a version of that you can do that don't require 8 years of school.
4 years. Maybe you can do
Maybe
something. or
none.
2 months.
Prime example: real estate.
Yep.
So you want to go to do real estate, but you don't want to take the class and you don't want to ride people around in your car. Guess what you do? You become a real estate investor. Okay. So I learned that because I was an
She's
agent.
teaching.
And so I teach, right? So when you learn that, you switch it. I was a real estate agent for on and off 20-something years.
Yeah.
But then you figure out, oh, that ain't what I want to do. I can make money in real estate, helping people by being a real estate investor.
Gotcha.
So you kind of have to adjust sometimes, you guys, to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
So you want to eliminate the negative people and eliminate the negative thought. Well, you want to get rid of the negative people. You want to develop a plan, research, and you want to get rid of the negative thought. So a lot of the times, you got to flush it out because you are your worst enemy.
And especially now, if you're over 40, you got a lot of flushing you need to do.
Ooh,
Because all the stuff that has been piled on, all the things that you learned, you probably 9 times out of 10 have to unlearn them.
Unlearn them.
And relearn some new shit.
Well,
that description that talks about renewing your mind, that's really, I mean.
Oh, no, absolutely.
It's so,
that's one in so many different ways, and you need to do it every day. And so, okay, we talked about how does one start. So those are 3 things you can do to get started. We want you to go right now to the right of your screen and click subscribe. Subscribe to That's Just Lola, please. Send it out, share it share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, all those different places, whatever you belong to, share all of them at one time.
Periscope.
And copy the link, put it on your text message, whatever you got to do. But we'll be right back with more of That's Just Lola, and we'll be sharing with you how do you begin to dream again if you so covered up, like Mel said, layers, you don't even